Hello, 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 and happy Freedom Friday to all of my Pisces. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your Freedom Friday message. Pisces, this message is for June 2nd through July 2nd. And even if it is already still Thursday where you are, this message is for Friday the 2nd as we are gearing up for this full moon in Sagittarius. All right, gearing up for the full moon in Sagittarius. The number two, when you think about the number two, whenever you see the number two in any form, if you see 1 in 1, I know people will see that's 11. That number 11 symbolizes light, Light, making a decision about something to step into your own light for clarity. So you're gonna find the answers in your light. Like make a decision about something, get off the fence, make a decision about something. When you see the number two, the number two is a psychic number, right? And so this is where source is saying to you, to listen, to go in and listen to that inner voice. What is your feeling telling you about something? What premonitions did you have? Did you have a dream about something? That kind of thing. So tap in when you see the number two. You'll know that a number two, it's like you're relying on just you and God. You're like, okay, I hear God's voice telling me something. And so I want to make sure my flesh is aligned with my spirit. So that's also two. But you'll know that number two is out of alignment when in psychic energy, a lot of times people will try to keep it a secret because they don't want to be criticized by people around them. But it's going to really help you to tap into those spiritual gifts. When it's out of alignment, the dark side of the number two is that it can be quite aggressive energy, almost like trying to force a person to believe, the premonition or the deja vu that you had or the feeling that you had about certain things. You don't really need to aggressively, I would think we've all met people who were pretty aggressive when it came to their spiritual gifts. They didn't know how to use them. And so it comes across as, I got to force my beliefs onto you, whether you believe it or not. So let's get into your reading. All right, so here we have the Five of Swords, speaking of the number two. We also have the Five of Cups, the Page of Cups. We have the Three of Wands. We have the Three of Cups and also the Hierophant card. All right, so here we have the Hierophant card. Somebody is starting to understand things from a... you have an innate spiritual understanding of things that's happening around you. You notice that every time you look back at the past, it causes you to be like this. This is masculine energy. This is feminine energy. When you look back at the past and you sit there for a minute, like overthinking it, this is connected to your thoughts and this is connected to your emotions. Then your emotions, like this person's head is hung low, you start getting sad about the past. Certain things you had to leave behind, certain things that people said or did, even though it's over. See, the people have already walked away. Even though it's over, somebody still has swords in their hands when it comes to those things, almost like you're expecting something to come back and I got to get myself geared up for what I'm going to say or how I'm going to respond to certain things, right? And so Source is saying to you, see, if you're focusing on the cups that fell over, the relationships that didn't work out, meaning the friendships, romantic relationships, family relationships, or relative relationships that didn't work out, you won't see how much water you have left. Like this, you have a lot of creativity. So Source is saying to you, I'm bringing another fresh cup of water so that to help you balance it out. So right now, somebody's focusing on the three situations that didn't work versus the three that God still has for you. So somebody still has a lot of creative ideas. And so this is right here, this celebration. So the new creative ideas for you could mean a new love is coming across your path that's going to help you balance things out a little bit. Like, okay, you can feel by yourself. And every time I think about the past and I think about the friendships that I left behind and the romantic relationships or even some of the relatives that I had to leave behind, that can be draining for somebody. And so Source is saying, I'm bringing new fresh water into your life, whether it's a new love or new friendship or new business relationship or whatever, to help you balance some things out so that you can say, I learned from things in my past, maybe to not be so, let my emotions get so caught up in certain things and listen when I start feeling overwhelmed and maybe I need to move on from some things. Like, if you're at a celebration and you starting to feel overwhelmed by some things, maybe I don't need to stay to the end. Maybe I need to leave early. So I'm not absorbing all of that energy. You're a divine feminine sign, but you're also a water sign. So you're absorbing a lot. So Source is saying, just know what your limit is so that you don't repeat the same cycles is what Source is trying to tell you. And because you have a lot on the horizon. See all of this water here? So right here, it looks like You got 3 cups of water. You celebrating me, myself, and I. I'm in a posture of gratitude. My past is over. I've been brought into the light. I wish everybody from my past the best, but I got to move on, right? And so sources like when you decide to operate in this space right here, you can get rooted and grounded. And guess what? There's like a sea of water for you. Like you talking about replenishing your water. Source is saying it's a sea of water, sea of creativity, sea of joy. It's like Source is saying when you look on the horizon, you're dreaming bigger and you're like, wow, look at all of this expansion out here. I get to take more trips and vacations. I don't have to worry about the drama. I'm not being invited to certain things, so I don't even have to make up anything. If this person says this to me, then I'm going to respond this kind of way. I don't have to return back to certain, as far as your work is concerned. I don't have to. I can pick and choose if I want to go out with certain colleagues after work. I don't have to feel forced anymore. I don't have to feel. God has brought me into the light about how creative my creativity. So I can creatively say, you know what? I already have some time blocked on my calendar. Thank you all for inviting me, but I already have something planned. Even if that is a Netflix and chill with yourself, I already have something planned. So again, you don't have to be stressed about it. Here we have the 5 of Swords again. We have the King of Swords. We have the Temperance card, the 9 of Wands, the Fool card, and also the 6 of Wands. So you definitely have a guardian angel that's helping you with this. Guardian angel that's helping you with this, really saying to you, now that you have an innate spiritual understanding, now you can look at expansion. And that's what this card right here. Now that you're on the other side of a long and arduous journey, you can focus on expansion on the horizon. Expansion all around you. I'm on the other side of a long and arduous journey. And it doesn't matter how long ago that the journey ended. You're on the other side of realizing, like when you first are out of something, then it takes some time, depending on how many times you were blowtorched or burned in a situation, or uninspired or bullied, or something that caused you to have low self-esteem. It takes time. You could be literally standing at the edge of something for years. Like, I need to take time to process some things. That's why I tell people not to jump from one situation to the next. Then when it comes to a job and leaving a job for purposes of, having, you got bills and stuff to pay, you may say, okay, I'm gonna give myself a 2-week break and then I'm gonna jump into another job. In that sense, somebody may learn the lesson. Before I go from one job to the next, I'm going to have at least 6 months of something saved up. So I got to be real strategic and real creative about saving up money. So if I need to leave something, I at least have 6 months worth of, let me just process what I went through in that job before I jump into something else, before I even have a chance to just kind of sort of learn whatever lessons I needed to learn about myself. So however long, even family situations, it's going to take me some time to recoup and hit a reset button. But I do see victory for you. So congratulations. Like I said, you're on the other side of something. Congratulations to you all. I see that you've gained a lot of wisdom. The 5 of Swords came out. There's about 2 situations in particular that somebody left behind. That's why I said in the beginning, you see this person has these 2 swords. It's like 2 situations from your past. Source is saying to you, those situations are over. They are behind you. You've gained wisdom and knowledge about it. Do not go back to the overthinking about situations. Just move on from it. So as we get closer and closer to this full moon, as the planet Pluto, while it's retrograde, is bringing up old, past real deep wounds and emotions about things. It's only for the purpose, Pisces, of you purging them, not for them to just sit in your water until they grow mold. Right? It's literally for you to just, I need to toss this out. I need to replenish with fresh water. And that's why Source is saying, put a manhole cover over your past, move on from it. You have a lot more blessings that lie ahead creatively. A lot more. When we talk about water, we're talking about joy. We're talking about healthy range of emotions. We're talking about creativity, sexuality, fertility. There's so many seeds that you want to plant, that you want to grow. And because Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, which is also one of your ruling planets, Jupiter is the planet of growth and opportunity. This is an opportunity to grow your money, grow your love life, grow your friendship circle, soul tribe. This is a great opportunity. And so Source is saying, tap into your strength and save yourself by getting away from people who are bullies. People who cannot control their rage or their emotions. People who, when you're around them, you feel your water evaporate fast because they're just draining energy. Sources like, get as far away from those types of energies so that you don't reflect their energy, right? So now they have something to blame on you. Oh, well, you did the same thing to me. You know what? Let me go ahead and avoid that. So in other words, like let's say I gave you an example. If you're at an event or something and a fight breaks out, you like, that has nothing to do with me. I'm moving on. I got to protect my water at all costs. So that's what Source is trying to tell somebody, is to move on. Like night energy is about saving yourself. That's what night energy is about. So let's see what else we got going on. Okay. And so we have the 5 of Cups here. Somebody's been lamenting for too long. It's time to celebrate life. Somebody has been in this drained emotional drought for a while, and so now it's time to celebrate something. So whatever it is that you've been speaking into existence and leaving your past behind, congratulations. Your third eye is wide open, and also this is about motive. Ace of Swords, it's about motive. And you ask yourself, why did I give so much energy and attention to all of that when I could have been moving on, living my absolute best life? I felt like I wasted my time thinking about something when really it wasn't that you wasted your time, Pisces. God needed you to learn whatever lessons you needed to learn from it. So Ace of Swords and also Ace of Wands. Your third eye is open. This is where God is saying to you, now that you realize your third eye is open, you can't close it. It's like something you can't unsee. So now that I see that, in the past, I was just kind of going along with the flow of things and hurting myself by trying to escape the reality of certain things, situations from my past, and it was draining me, just snatching me down into this dark space. I'm not going to do that again. I need to be out here living my best life. So that's what Source is saying. I'm bringing you some good news. Doesn't matter, you have to decide what the good news is. I mean, good news is just waking up every morning, really, for some people. But here we have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the 5 of Pentacles, the 6 of Pentacles. We have the Page of Pentacles, the 10 of Swords, and also the 2 of Swords. So we have the 6 of Pentacles, some kind of an approval for some kind of increase in terms of your money is coming across your path. You've earned it. You worked very hard for it, Pisces. So congratulations. And the 5 of Pentacles is in the past, you use your emotions as a crutch, right? Emotionally, I can, and this is what such and such and whatever. Remember, this is right. Your root chakra is established or developed between the ages of 0 and 7. So something God needed you to work on your emotional state, because that was cutting into somebody's money or burning up somebody's money. So Source is saying, being able to control your emotions, but knowing exactly where it started. Did you grow up in a household where there's a lot of violence and a lot of arguing and stuff going on, and it caused you to feel like, okay, well, I feel like I'm sinking under. It's just so overwhelming for me. It's just so much chaos in the house. So that's where somebody had to learn, I can't be around those types of energies where it's just a bunch of chaos and confusion and violence and those kind of things. That's why there's so much fire here in the cars, because somebody didn't realize from the beginning where it all started. Page of Pentacles. And so that's where the information is coming in. God is trying to tell you, you're an emotional sign, and you need to be around calm waters. You need to be around clear waters. You need to be around people who are creatives. You need to be around people who are inspiring, people who are motivating. You need to be around people who offer you mental clarity, where you're not, and this is in all of your relationships, Pisces, not just jobs. It's also in romantic relationships, friendships. You don't need to be around energies that will cause your water to reflect them. They can project that negativity, the shade and messiness onto you, and then it makes you look just like them, because that water is reflective. So Source is saying you're definitely going through a rebirth. Stay around fresh water, and even if that means you got to be by yourself until you find your tribe, until you attract your tribe, and you start saying to God, I am the creativity, I am the happiness, I am the fertility, sexuality, the wide range of healthy emotions that I desire to attract. You're saying I am those things, right? So I got to leave the past behind of whoever's saying about you. I am these things, right? And so Source is saying that somebody was definitely in denial about some things. 2 energies in particular in the past, somebody was in denial about something. So that's what threw somebody's heart chakras out of alignment. That's what you hear people say, I'm such a giver and people keep taking advantage of me. They taking my kindness for weakness. You got to take it all the way back. And that's what Pluto is doing for everybody. Pluto being retrograde is taking everybody back to your childhood to see where all of this over giving came from. I keep giving, and like somebody's like, I keep giving and I keep getting my heart broken. I keep getting disappointed and I'm depressed and I'm sad. Where did all of this start from? You're going to start finding yourself forgiving people from your childhood, like forgiving people from your past. But guess what? Because it's so triggering, I need to cut those people off because really it played a huge role. It played a huge role in why you attracted the types of energies that you attracted it to begin with. So source is saying you're breaking generational cycles, chains, and curses. This is attached to Pluto, by the way, and Pluto is retrograde. You're breaking generational cycles, chains, and curses. You're focusing on your legacy. What do you want your legacy to be? And that's what source is trying to tell you, so that you're not sitting around lamenting and everybody is like, why is Pisces so depressed? Why is Pisces? So somebody is investing in themselves and saying, if I'm at a point where, two energies in particular have made me feel this depressed. One, I need to cut them out of my life for good. And then two, start the process of hiring a therapist so I can really peel back some layers and and a licensed therapist, peel back some layers so I can figure out where this started and so I don't have to keep repeating these same cycles over and over and over again. Or I'm looking for somebody to pour their fresh water into me until they are drained and exhausted because of my energy, because I won't go get myself some help. So like I said before, Temperance, you have two guardian angels that's watching over you, protecting you, Pisces. And again, I'm talking to you if you have Pisces anywhere in your chart. The Eight of Swords came out too. See how this person has a sword to cut themselves right out of their own bond. It's self-sabotage to overthink some things from your past instead of saying, I need to get some help. Also, Pisces, if you can't afford a therapist, being near water, believe it or not, is going to really help all those memories to come through. And also taking the action of saying, until I can flush all of these toxins out of my spirit and that could be affecting my current relationships with people, like cutting into my own money, cutting into my credibility, cutting into my reputation. I need to be by myself for a minute until I can really, in my mind, sift through all of these things, drink more water, do my detoxes, my whatever I need to do to get that out of my spirit. And so I do see victory for you. So 2 situations I see you victorious about. 2 situations in particular that I see that you're victorious about. So congratulations to you all for just putting in the hard work. And it is a lot of hard work looking at your cards here. It is a lot of hard work that somebody had to invest in themselves so that, when we talk about the number 2, this is really you and God. Number 2, somebody has been looking and reaching out for everybody else's, alignment to help them feel aligned when really God needed you to go within and listen to your inner voice, right? And so that you don't need anybody else's validation to cut people out of your life. You say, you know what? Some of my exes, I need to move on. I need to go ahead and sever ties with them and move on. And just take a firm stance. Here we have Death card. We have the 5 of Swords, the 7 of Swords, the King of Swords, the God card, and the Temperance card. Some people around you definitely had a God complex. When I'm saying God complex, I'm not saying people who say, I am God in human form, because that is true. We are all God in human form, meaning that the Spirit of God is within us. But I'm talking about arrogance. I'm talking about pride and arrogance. People who cannot apologize, who won't apologize, who would rather gaslight you instead of apologizing for their role in you having low self-esteem or feeling bullied or crying or becoming enraged. They're just like, sometimes parents do it to their kids. Sometimes spouses do it to their kids. Sometimes you've been gaslighted by people you considered as friends. But Source is saying you have guardian angels all around you telling you, now that you see it from an innate standpoint, and you have an innate spiritual understanding of things, Source is saying you don't have a God complex where you feel like you got to go out here and save everybody, even the people who cause low self-esteem in your life, Pisces. Instead, you're saying, I have the power of God inside of me. I don't have a God complex. I'm not competing with the Most High God. I have the power of God inside of me. So that's going to help somebody's back walk up straight. Like somebody's like, you know what? I can come. And so here we have the Death card. Death card is Scorpio. Judgment card is Pluto, which is one of Scorpio's ruling planets. Source is saying to you, somebody somebody is starting to feel a whole lot better. Somebody is starting to feel really, really empowered. Here we have the Five of Swords came out 3 times. So it's 3 energies in particular where somebody is saying, when I look back over my life, I feel like I was in complete and total, I felt like in this defense mode, like this fight mode. And so now the person that you are today, you feel empowered, at least with 2 of the energies in particular. And so source is like, if there's a third energy out there, whether it's a romantic relationship or because we're talking about spirits, and there's been a whole lot of overthinking of some things. Here we have the 7 of Swords. Source is saying there's 2 energies in particular that you needed to walk away from to understand where the manipulation and where the heartbreak and deep disappointment came from, Pisces. And so from that, could have birthed a whole lot of other things that was confusing, like why you dated certain types of people. But that's what I'm seeing for you all coming up. I'm seeing some victory, and somebody saying, I'm finally moving on from those 2 energies in particular, and I'm also focusing on forgiveness and moving forward, and also working on my legacy wealth, whatever that legacy is. And so for somebody, a new love could mean the Page of Cups. This is youthful energy. It could be a Taurus. We're talking about cow, and we're also talking about bull. It could be also somebody could have been married to a Taurus, or in a relationship with a Taurus, or even not even a Taurus, even somebody who is just very stubborn. You could have been raised by somebody who was very stubborn. They wouldn't budge in their beliefs. And so because you are a mutable sign and you go along with the flow of things, you're a highly adaptable sign. For you probably couldn't even figure out why certain people were just kind of like not budging and apologizing, or they were the way that they were, or whatever the case may be. But I see you releasing people in love. Yeah. So I see, like I said, I see you releasing people in love. And this is a pivotal point for you, the number 5 right here. May the embrace of all that is nurturing you awaken in all that you are becoming. So that's why I said cow. And so somebody is saying, for somebody, it could have even, the stress of certain things could have even added extra physical weight to somebody, where they just felt like, I need this like emotional eating to protect myself. Like to some degree, somebody could have also felt that as well. So whatever you needed to do to move beyond something, Source is saying to you, this victory, you victoriously were able to move past something and move on. Emotions are running high. That could mean nervous jitters in your stomach. It could mean, because again, we talk about, your heart chakra, but we also talked about this fire here in the cards too. We're dealing with your solar plexus chakra. It could mean like digestive issues where your food isn't going down the way that it should, or you're not able to hold on to foods. Or you could feel like this anxiety, like knots or bubbles in your stomach. When you think about certain things, it could cause heart palpitation. All kinds of things when you think about certain energies. So connect with your ancestors. There's the number 5 again. 1 + 4 is 5. Source is saying it was certain energies, like I said before, that cause a lot of anxiety, in your life. And if it was a past love interest and you feel like, okay, why am I thinking about certain things? Physically go around your house and see if there's anything that's connected to somebody from your past that you're not going back to. Because you're not trying to escape the reality that there was something that when you, at one point, you felt foolish. You're not trying to escape that reality. You're trying to, right, somebody calls you unstable. Here we have number 4, I am stable. You bring stability and rationality to any situation. You are the rock, and your hard work and perseverance make you a dependable friend, partner, and colleague. So for somebody's ex definitely wants to, planted some kind of seeds that you're unstable. But you got to remember something too, Pisces. Sometimes very manipulative ex-friends, ex-family members, ex-love interests will play into their whole unstable, because now they know they have no more access to you. They know that you are a stable person. So what's the thing to make sure nobody wants to get close to you and benefit from your compassion and your kindness is to plant seeds in other people's thoughts that you're mentally unstable, or that you're physically unstable. You're always moving around. You're always running from something. You're scared. You can't get rooted and grounded. But guess what? Anybody who believes them thank God, because that makes your decision to move on easier. You don't want to be around people who you got to jump through fiery hoops to prove to them that you're the most compassionate sign in the zodiac. Why would you want to be around those types of energies? So source is saying to you, let your past do the job for you. If people are committed to believing that, this is not a job interview. You don't have to and even with job interviews, there's only certain things that companies can say. Will they fire? Would you hire that person, or whatever they say in HR? I believe, or so I've heard, people just ask the question, would you hire that employee back? Yes or no. The end. Okay. That don't even mean you don't even have to put certain jobs down on your resume. Again, you're selling yourself. So this is a great time for everybody to speak into existence exactly what you want. And if people from your past are committed to believing whatever they want to believe about you, be okay with it. Yep, anxiety. Affirmations for anxiety. All is well and I am whole. All is temporary. I am grateful for change. I have all that I need in this present moment. I release control of the future. I am not alone. I am in charge of my mind. Every experience is a part of a greater plan. I allow myself to feel and let go. I am not my emotions. That's what I have for you, Pisces, and I will see you all on Sunday. Bye.